My Mountain Life, I'm back again. It's May 25th, 2025. Doing a little watering. The last video I talked about the various varieties of plums that I have from Asian to European. I think I went over all of them. And now I'm just going to go over the varieties that I have of sweet cherries. And I think I have one that's not a sweet cherry. So we'll start in the south orchard, and the first tree here is called White Gold. Now you'll see that it does have has an ant on it. It has some cherries, and well, a few on here. It's a young tree, but it's probably got more cherries than many of my other trees. This is the second year it's been in, so I just planted it last year. I don't know much about White Gold. It's a whitish cherry, obviously, with a little bit of a red tinge to the coloration. So, but I don't know if I'm going to be planting a lot of different varieties of cherries because I just don't know how well they're going to perform in this area, or in this ground, because the ground is heavy clay, except for the home orchard is not. So this is called a Hudson cherry, and it's doing pretty well. I put a very tall tree protector on it, and it's kind of forcing it to grow more tall than even the White Gold over there. I don't think it had any cherries on it this year. So, Hudson. This one is called Early Burlat. These are all from Rain Tree Nursery. So, I don't know much about Early Burlat, and I thought I might have one cherry on the Early Burlat, but I may be wrong. May not have any. I don't know if you see one, then you can say that I've got one to try out, but I don't know that I do. So this is where I stopped, and I decided that I was going to stop trying to put cherries in the orchard because I just don't think that it's the proper ground for them. Heavy clay is not cherry country. This is a Kristen. Now this particular cherry, I have two of them, and the reason I got two of them is because it's supposed to be one of the more hardy sweet cherries, and they even mention the state of Montana with the cherry. So it was just planted this year, so this is only the first year for this Kristen. And the last cherry, sweet cherry, is the Lapin. Now the Lapin is supposed to be self-fertile, so that's a positive. It has a few cherries on it. The second year for this cherry tree, so hopefully we'll have some nice cherries to try out if the birds don't eat them. Which, by the way, I think I mentioned in my other video that neighbors that I've talked to, well, people around the area who grow sweet cherries, not orchards, because there are orchards, but I haven't talked to anybody from the orchards. I'm just talking about people that have cherry trees in their backyards. And they've told me that the birds are a serious problem. Now, I haven't experienced that yet, but I think it's because I just don't have a lot of cherry production from these trees. So I would suggest to you that I haven't experienced the full weight of birds attacking my trees or eating the cherries. So now we're in the north orchard, and this is where I originally started planting the cherry trees, and then I came to the realization that they just don't like heavy clay at all. Probably should have researched that a little more before I decided on that. But this is a Lapin as well, and I have a couple little cherries on this tree. So this is another Lapin. This one's called a Teraheve. T-E-H-R, Teraheve, something like that. It has some little hidden cherries in here. So we're going to try some of the Teraheve cherries, hopefully. They should be hidden well enough that the birds won't find them, we're hoping. This is the Bing. This is the most common cherry in my area, sweet cherry. This tree has been here a long time and it's not very vigorous. This is what I was telling you about the growth. It's got 1, 2 or 3 cherries on there. This is one of the common cherries that used to be grown here a lot, but people have switched to the Bing. This is the Lambert. I think it was originally developed in Oregon, the state of Oregon. I have not had one cherry off the Lambert. This is another Bing. So we got a couple here. And we have another Lambert right here. This is a Rainier. I have 2 Rainier cherries and I don't buy them anymore because they died back. They have troubles, they die back. It's just maybe a little too cold for them here. Or maybe it's just that they definitely don't like the soil conditions. So I've cut this one back all the way and it's actually growing back. This is a Sweetheart cherry tree from Rain Tree Nursery. And I am going to be able to have one cherry here to try out on it. Maybe a couple. This is a Buffalo Silverberry. It's not a cherry tree. This one I just planted this year. This is a Vandalay. So this was from Rain Tree Nursery. It's a pretty good looking tree. Hopefully it'll do okay. This is the first Kristen that I planted, and we do have some little cherries on it to try out. And finally, this is the one I've been kind of the most excited about. This is called a Nugent. It's actually a yellow cherry, and there are some in here. There's 2 growing in here, and then there's 1 on the back side, I think. Yeah, 1 down on the other side. So we're really hoping we can try out that Nugent. And that's it for the cherries in the North Orchard. I think the total number of varieties that I have are 12. Not the total trees, but the total number of varieties. 12 of them. And most of the varieties are here in the North and South Orchard, but the Costco trees, with the exception, I bought 2 Costco trees, and I bought one from a local nursery, and they're all doing much better, I guess, much better than the trees in the North and South Orchard. So here we are coming to the home orchard. The soil conditions here are significantly different. They are good soil. There's the sandy loam. I mean, like probably the perfect, close to maybe the perfect conditions for cherries. And I'm watering. It's kind of crazy if you look at how I'm watering, but I'm trying not to water the house, and I'm trying to get as much over on this side as I can. So this right here, I believe, is a Bing cherry tree, and this is a Costco, and you can see that it's much more vigorous in its growth, and this tree is younger than the Lamberts that you saw over there and the other Bing. So definitely enjoying the treatment that it has here more than the other side. This is a Lapin, another Costco tree. You can see cherries in here. The last time I had cherries on this, little tiny ants got on them. I didn't have bird problems, I had little tiny ants taking the cherries. And you've seen my work in here before. Now this is a Bing, but it's from a local nursery, not a Costco tree. And this tree is on a standard rootstock. I made sure that I got one on standard. I don't know about the other Costco trees, what rootstock they have. But this tree, I'm expecting will get very big. As big as they will get. Before we go to the sprinkler, I'll just show from a distance. You can see here there's a Lambert right there, or pardon me, a Lapin, and you can see the cherries on it from a distance. Another Costco tree, and then a Bing over there, and it's got a few. It's doing quite well. And then where the sprinkler's been hitting the tree, this one right here, this tree and the one adjacent to it are called Evans cherries, and I believe they're dwarf varieties. They only get that tall. I haven't had them get any taller than that. And if we go to the corner here, that's a choke cherry, but all the white, most of the white that you see in the distance are wild choke cherries. So that's all choke cherries right there, most of them. I suppose there's a few hawthorns and stuff, and there's the white over there is again choke cherries. Choke cherries there. I mean, they're everywhere. And I have one planted here. They get really tall. They get about 40 feet tall or so. And then in this corner I have a little tiny bush cherry called a Juliet, and I thought I saw little cherries developing on this the last time I looked. Yep, we'll have a few little Juliets. And then this right here is the Romeo. It's still got blooms on it. And then this is a Nanking cherry, which is from China. My wife does not like the cherries off the Nanking, but it's sure pretty. So anyway, that I believe is all of the different varieties and kinds of cherries that I have. Choke cherries are pretty prevalent in the forests around here, but they, unless you make jam or something out of them, people typically won't eat them. And then Evans cherries, that's a nice tree, shrub or whatever. But the cherries, my wife likes them, but most other people find them too sour compared to the other sweet cherries that they can get. So, anyway, that is a synopsis of the varieties of cherries that I have growing, and we'll keep you informed. I do intend to get one more cherry and plant it in the home orchard here next year. So, my mountain life, we'll talk with you again in the future.